Thank you. Thank you, Cathaoirleach. The Taoiseach has lost the trust of the Irish people. In 2011, he said that he wanted to see a sense of trust brought back into Irish politics. And as we can see quite clearly, he has failed, and he has failed the Irish people. The Shannon by-election is nothing other than cronyism of monumental proportions. And we also see shocking failure, equally as bad, when it comes to Irish water. His own former minister, who sat in that chair over there, who brought in the bill to establish Irish water, said that it was a disaster. That's what he said it was, a disaster. Because what we see in Irish water as well is cronyism. We see that half the jobs are not being advertised at all, and most of them are going to former public services. Maybe the leader would organise a debate on that, because what we see from the Journal today is that half those jobs in Irish water are not being publicly advertised. Why is that? Where is the transparency that the Taoiseach offered and promised us in 2011? But as bad and all as the lack of transparency is in Irish water, worse is the lack of transparency regarding the HSE and the manipulation of the waiting lists, which is putting people's lives at risk. When you take patients off a waiting list and tell them go off and see a private doctor on the private system, a doctor who is not suitable for the condition that you have, but simply allows the HSE to manipulate the list, you are putting that person's life at risk. When you tell a surgeon to operate on somebody that they have not seen or consulted with prior to the operation, knowing that the consultant will not take that patient, and therefore they will be sent back into the public list, but it will manipulate the list and make it look a lot lower and shorter than it is. It reminds us all of Disraeli and his famous quote, "There are lies, damn lies, and statistics." In relation to the HSE medical waiting list for operations, obviously all three of those apply. Mark Twain once upon a time said that facts are stubborn, but statistics are pliable. When it comes to this government, they don't like the facts, but they are fairly stubborn when it comes to manipulating the statistics. I would ask that the Cathaoirleach would allow the leader to bring in the Minister for Health in relation to the memo, because that memo is putting people's lives at risk. If the Minister could bring in the memo that instructed HSE officials to manipulate the waiting lists so that people's lives will be put at risk as a result, the person who issued that memo in the HSE should be fired, knowing that he was putting people's lives at risk. And I suppose, on top of manipulating the HSE waiting lists and disastrously manipulating this Shannon by-election and government departments.
Have you a question for the leader, Senator?
Thank you. I would ask the leader to organise a debate that the Taoiseach is making a mockery of his claim that he was going to bring a democratic revolution to this House and to this country, and I would ask the leader to organise a debate in that regard.
Senator Batchy.